Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up. Bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. I'm very humbled. Little Weirdo the Great, right? So Little Weirdo pulled up to Fresno. I did a video on it yesterday. Man, it's no big deal. No comadre shit. No big deal. So what? So what? Little Weirdo and a gang of fucking little youngsters pull up to Fresno. I don't see the big deal in it. Some people do, though. Some people felt disrespected, especially people from the city of Fresno. There's a lot of people that feel like, hey, man, don't go talking that shit 20, 30, 40 minutes later, right? After you done left the spot. Some are actually describing the area that Little Weirdo was in as an industrial area right off Highway 99 where wasn't nothing cracking. There's been plenty of bulldogs that have gotten on my line or plenty of bulldogs that gotten on live and said, hey, you should have pulled up to the east side, see what the smoke would have been about. Whatever the case may be, there was a double back allegedly that people are saying happened. Now, I'm not for one, or I'm not one for putting people out there criminally, right? Like, hey, hot cases, assaults, violence, shootings, stabbings, all that are not to be spoken on if there's nobody locked up on it, right? You don't go talk about, hey, man, I think these guys did this. I think this particular group did that. You know, if people are claiming, and there's a lot of claimers, a lot of flamers too, but a lot of claimers that claim, hey, that was us that did that. And then when the feds or the popos come knocking at their door, they point fingers in different directions. So allegedly, Little Weirdo didn't just pull up to Fresno, didn't just pull up for a quick fucking 5-minute video off the 99 like it's being alleged. Allegedly, he actually rented an Airbnb in the area of Fresno and went live on Instagram and got into a back and forth with an alleged Fresno bulldog. Now it happens. It happens, you know. From what I seen on the video, the young bulldog man kept pressuring Little Weirdo for the location. Drop the location. Drop the location. And in the midst of this conversation, it was, you know, Little Weirdo let it be known that they were posted up in Fresno as some sort of Airbnb. Now, that was a little too much information because it's very easy for someone to go on the website, look up Airbnbs, look at the color behind you of the house that you're staying at, and just assume. So as the conversation continued to go on and on, these guys went back and forth in this new era fashion of drop your location, drop your location. Now, I've always been a big advocate for don't be a stupid ass and drop your location. History has shown, and it's scientifically proven, that usually if you drop your location gets dropped, right? Your head gets dropped right out that location. It makes no sense, this back and forth and that drop your location. Like, it doesn't make you tougher. You do it, there's going to be someone's going to prison, someone's going to the hospital, or someone might be even going to the grave. So I don't see the gangsterism of dropping a location right now. I understand. I know some people, you talk that shit, you got to be about it, the pull up, the fade, the whatever, man. But social media has taken over to the point where this drop your location shit is right there in the same fucking paragraph as gang or on the dead homies or these certain things that people are saying now, the N-word. It makes no sense. You know, I go by the old school thing. Catch me when you catch me, right? Or I'll catch you when I catch you. All that pull up, what's your location so I can go in or smack your shit? Like, if you're invited, it doesn't make you cool or down to invite someone to come get you. See, real gangsters move in silence like lasagna. Lil Wayne said it. Real gangsters will catch you when, like I said, when they got you. They're not going to they'll do their fucking investigative work and see where you're at. Like, all right, this vault's over here. I can see by the palm tree. I remember that palm tree. Anyways, It's being alleged all over the internet now, by the internet police that the Airbnb that little weirdo was staying at was sprayed, right? Was hit with 3 shots. Now, of course, I haven't seen one particular person claim that it was them, but I've seen a lot of people speculating on social media that, in fact, it was the Fresno Bulldogs that did this. Stop telling. First of all, if you have any inside information and you know it to be the dogs, why would you tell on them? You can't sit here and talk shit about the Bulldogs, that they're suckers, man, that they're not with the business, that they're not this, and that. And then when a fucking incident occurs, automatically place blame on them. To me, that's some telling shit. And even if it wasn't them or it was, who are you to speculate and say? Okay, now, let me give you the facts. The facts are, and this is by me just seeing it, I watched Little Weirdo go back and forth with a guy that claimed to be a Bulldog, looked like a youngster, looked like he was having a good time, was smiling a lot, laughing, and, pretty much holding it down for his city, saying, hey, hey, Uvaldes ain't going to let us know where you're at, because we'll come barking. And Little Weirdo was taking it lightly. He was laughing because, of course, he knew deep down inside, fuck no, he's not going to drop his location. There ain't no way he's going to do that. For one, he's not a gang member like that. Never has been a part of a barrio. For two, that would be stupidity at its finest. And I think he understands the game and knows enough not to do that. This ain't the first time Little Weirdo's been in Northern California. Let me tell you guys a little story, man. So I have a homeboy from Sanjo, a very close homeboy. And one night he calls me. It's like fucking midnight, right? So I pick up the phone because I'm ready to take a flight. Like, what's happening? This is that type of homie. Like, no questions asked. His family is like my family, right? His sons are like my nephews. Like, that's how much love I got for him. So he calls me. He's faded a little bit, but not that much. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? I'm like, what's cracking? He's like, oh, we're right here at the club celebrating the birthday, right? So kicking it with this homeboy, man, I know how he does things. VIP, bottles popping, like real life. It doesn't take a fucking billionaire, or it doesn't take a P. Diddy party for a motherfucker to go pop some bottles and do it real. I don't know what they be doing with the baby oil and all that P. Diddy shit, but in real life, motherfuckers be VIP in it. You already know, man, 400 minimum on a bottle, 600 for the table. Let's get it. We've done it plenty of times, man. Kicked it in Vegas, all that. So I know the get down. He's like, man, we're popping bottles. It's my birthday, this, and that. I'm like, that's right. He was like, hey, bro, you know that individual Duno from YouTube? I said, yeah, I know of Duno, man. He said, what's up, man? Does he be pushing a line? Like, is he a Southsider? Is he, because the homeboy's from Northern California, right? From San Jose. So they're on that shit. He's like, is that fool like, does he talk shit about the homies or this, and that? I'm like, nah. Nah, he's cool. He said, yeah, because he's celebrating his birthday right here, right now. He's in the VIP section with that dude, Little Weirdo, that rapper from San Diego. They're right here. But it's like, it's all good. He's like, I'm going to approach him right now and see what's up. I said, nah, he's a cool dude, man. He's a raza, I've never seen him disrespect the North. And if he has, it is what it is. But, I shut that down quick. The homie was like, okay, I'm still going to get at him just on some cool shit. So the homeboy, that's how he is. He got at him. He calls me back later on or the next day, and he was like, oh, yeah, that dude was cool, bro. He was celebrating his birthday as well. Little Weirdo was there. He was like, them dudes looked like they were aware, like they knew where they were at. The thing is, they pulled up. Okay, they didn't pull up on no shenanigans or disrespect or bullshit. They didn't make a video the next day saying, oh, we were in San Jose last night. Fucking, nobody ran up on us. Because there's cats that will, just like in Fresno, do their thing. Believe me, there was phone calls being made, right? So little did they know. But of course, being that it's me that he called, and it wasn't like I'm some gangster shot caller, nothing like that. I have no influence like that. It's just the homeboy called me because he knew I does the YouTube thing. And he wanted to know exactly what this motherfucker's history was as far as with the North. And I was like, nah, he's cool. Now, Little Weirdo, I didn't say too much about. At that time, I really didn't know who he was. But I say that to say that Little Weirdo has a history of pulling up to Northern California with nothing happening because he's not out there gang banging at the time. And so that was that. Whatever. The homies said they kicked it. They partied, man. They had a good time. We had a good time. It was what it was. Now, let's fast forward to Fresno a few days ago. Little Weirdo and his little homies pull up. Anything under 5'5" is considered a little homie, right? They pull up and they're chilling in the Fresno area, and it's all good, man. It's all good. You go wherever you want. There's no one that can fucking tell you you can't go anywhere. All you need in life is fresh air and gas money. I learned that a long time ago. Now, the city of Fresno is tricky, very tricky. It's not a city that you're going to go into certain parts, and that's every city, man. There's certain areas that you're not going to go into in Fresno, period, without getting barked at, okay? Because the Bulldogs run that city. That's the facts. And so that doesn't mean every spot in Fresno you can't go. Man, I can go probably chill in Fresno all day long in a certain area and never be discovered or seen if I don't want to be. And then I could fucking hit a corner at a liquor store and get barked on like a motherfucker and get all that smoke. So Fresno's that way. So these guys roll up to whatever area they rolled up to, and people are like, oh, they went there pre-planned because they knew there was no gangs there or no vados. That's not the way it worked out, man. Let me explain to you. If you're not from a city, then you don't know the layout of that motherfucker, right? So anywhere you pull up to could be a dangerous situation. It's not like they said, oh, we're going to stop right here because there's no gangs or no vados here. They just stopped right off the 99 where gas stations are located, a few fucking stores, and got off the car, stretching their shit, probably rolled something, smoking something. And a couple of the youngsters decided to disrespect the city of Fresno by saying, oh, we're out here, ain't no one doing nothing. Well, of course ain't no one doing nothing. It's the middle of the fucking daytime. It's not after 5 o'clock when the sun starts sinking and shit starts getting grimy, right? And you're not in that type of area, you know. But again, that doesn't mean that these guys pulled up to that particular spot because they were scared. So I'm not going to throw that on their plate. Just a bunch of young fucking kids acting stupid, being foolish, you know, taking it to the gram, taking it to YouTube, taking it to TikTok, trying to act tough. When ain't nothing tough about you. Let's just be honest here, right? Not on no North and South shit saying the Southsiders ain't tough or Northerners ain't tough, you know. And there's one guy that got at me about, he was like, oh yeah, man, at least the Southsiders will pull up to Fresno. Northerners ain't doing shit. Like, bro, there's Northerners from Fresno and Southsiders from Fresno, Baboso. What are you talking about, bro? Northerners have been in Fresno since before Bulldogs were there. Bulldogs were Northerners. So just stop it. It's not a competition on who's tougher or who's cooler. At the end of the day, you're not even in a position to fucking go to Fresno to do that. So stop it. Now, here's the thing. That night, I guess not only did Little Weirdo and his group do their little video and post it or whatever. And I don't know if that particular video was posted of them saying that they're doing a rap video or hanging out in Fresno, but they rented an Airbnb. And when Little Weirdo was getting into it with this bulldog was making a whole bunch of threats, you know, like, hey, man, let us know and see what happens. And of course, Little Weirdo didn't. And they're going back and forth. And it seemed like Little Weirdo was having fun with the dude. He was laughing, clowning, being childish, disrespectful. The other dude was doing the same damn thing. So it wasn't like Little Weirdo wasn't doing what he wasn't doing. But all that, man, I'm right here in your city, all that toughness. Well, the next day, not that night. So no blame on Little Weirdo and his entourage or whatever, calling the cops and saying something happened. But the next day, probably when the people got there to the Airbnb or some neighbors called the cops and said that there were some shots fired, some vandalism happened at the particular Airbnb where Little Weirdo was staying. 3 shots is what was seen on the news, right? Now, of course, they don't got anyone. They haven't apprehended anyone. No one's blaming no one, but you got the streets. The streets are talking, and especially social media. So you have a lot of dudes on social media blaming the Bulldogs, blaming, you know, the fact that Little Weirdo was there. And you got the dudes from Fresno claim to see what happens. Shit, motherfuckers will air you out, bro. You know, air you out. Which, yes, that could happen anywhere. And Fresno is a dangerous city, no doubt about it. And then you got, you know, the other side, people saying, why are you putting that fucking jacket on people? Why are you saying that this particular group double backed and came back and shot up Little Weirdo's place? Now, let me explain something to you. When you're in an Airbnb, it's not very hard for someone to find out where you're at, especially when you're in someone else's backyard. There's Bulldogs everywhere in Fresno. There's gang members everywhere in Fresno. They could have easily said, hey, look, I can see the color of the house or see a window or a tree. Man, go to the internet. The internet's tricky. You can find out where anyone's at if you really, really do enough homework. That's how it is, right? I've done it before. Man, I discovered where a dude laid his head right by a window in his garage. It's a trip. So the fact is, whether this shooting was because of this back and forth on the Instagram, no one's going to know. You know, when authorities start getting involved, this is a perfect example of the childish antics and the bullshit, the comadre shit, and the wolfing back and forth on the internet. If you're willing to go back and forth with the man and it gets to the point of, you know, I'll go kill you or I'll shoot you or this, and that, you done told on yourself already. So now anytime anything happens to that man, you're now a suspect. You might be in a whole different state, different city, doing your own thing, man. You can get snatched up for questioning because you made threatening gestures towards that man. Now, look, of course, the Bulldogs from Fresno are not happy that these dudes come into town, but there's Southerners from Sanger, Fresno. There's Northerners from Fresno on the west side. They have their enemies. They have their opposition there. So it's not like, you know, because there was people that got at me like, what's the big deal? These dudes go, a little weirdo ain't even from a barrio. What's the big deal? The big deal wasn't to pull up. People do that all the time, every day. It was the disrespect. It was the after the fact saying, hey, we're right here. It ain't even fucking like you guys say. Ain't no one doing nothing. You know, of course, it all depends on the time of day, the area. You know, I've been to places, pulled up to places, different spots, went into the gas station, smoked my little frajo when I used to smoke, do my little thing. I'm aware because that's just the way I'm laced, right? But I could tell right from the layout, like, okay, this ain't that. You know, there's a gang of white people walking around, some Asians and shit, motherfucking tourists taking pictures. This ain't that. Then there's some areas I pull up and I'm a little sketchy. I'm gonna say, okay, I see. You know what I'm saying? I see that motherfucker leaning back on Fett right there. I see this motherfucker over here washing windows even when you tell him not to. Like, it's hood shit. There's only 2 cities in my life, and I'm gonna be honest with you, where I've went to where I'm like, fuck this. I don't care where you go. I got to wiggle. One of them's Oakland. Again, right? Oakland, no matter what exit you get off on that freeway, man, it could get tricky fast. You could just tell. You could feel it in the air. Oakland's with the wiggles or with the activities. And the other city was Fresno. You know, like I said, I know exactly where them dudes got off and where they were posting that video from. And people are right. The people that said that's not really heavily gang related, that doesn't mean someone can't cruise by with bad intentions. But it's very odd and very rare for that to happen. Now, if they'd have went to the east side or the park side or the west side, right there off Motel Drive and all that Chandler shit, it could have got tricky, very tricky, but they didn't. Now, if someone did come back because of the wolfing back and forth and air the Airbnb out, you know, I seen dudes, only 3 shots, that ain't shit. Hey, 1 shot is too much. I don't know where you come from. You know, all these tough guys, these tough dudes on the internet, man. Oh, man, you got to fucking spray a whole clip at me. You don't want that. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. You know, 3 shots is too many. Now, I'll tell you right now, Little Weirdo's like, whew, if that was aimed for him and he was able, and the shots were all in the back, whatever, you know, to me, they're a bunch of youngsters anyway. So they're not shooting straight if this was that. But for all these people to be putting it out on the internet, man, they shot up Little Weirdo and they did it. No one knows what happened. No one even knows if that's the exact Airbnb where Little Weirdo was staying, just because it's the same fucking color. Let me give you guys a news flash. There's a lot of beige fucking Airbnbs in Fresno. You know, people have seen a news clip of something that happened and automatically associated with this Little Weirdo pulling up to Fresno. And the facts is, like I said, man, this ain't Little Weirdo's first time. Now, as far as his little entourage, P-Face and all these little dudes, I don't know who the fuck they are, right? And of course, if they're little Southsiders or little Northerners or whatever, their dudes are gonna fucking talk that shit. I mean, I used to go when I was young and talk that shit. You know, it was a different era, a different time. Not everyone pulled out cameras. You know, motherfuckers would come out and whip your ass. That's the era that I was in, the 90s. They'll just say, oh, what? You're over there? They'll just pull up and beat your ass. Nowadays, it's a lot of this. It's back and forth. You know, but that doesn't mean shit don't get tricky. So if the Airbnb was lit up, I'm imploring the people, stop blaming the Fresno Bulldogs, stop blaming gangs and just assuming, because, man, you can get people caught up and in trouble. You know, and I don't care if that youngster was online talking about, I'm going to go over there right now and we're going to pull up and do this. Let the cops do their investigation. Stop doing it for them. And as far as Little Weirdo goes, man, I don't see the big deal. You know, I know motherfuckers get brave on the internet and talk shit. It is what it is. Little Weirdo ain't that. He ain't him. He ain't one of them dudes, man, that poses a threat to anyone. You can tell, just look at him. You know, he's just a youngster. He's a rapper. And that's it. You know, so for people making this a big issue, it's really not. Couple fucking, you know, how many times has Northern California rappers went down south? That happens all the time. How many times has Southern California rappers went up north? That happens all the time. It's not the travel. That's nothing, man. It's the disrespect after. That's the cowardice move. That's where the move went from fucking cool to coward shit. You know, and that's real. Anyways, man, allegedly the Airbnb where little fucking Weirdos stood, right, was shot up. Some people are claiming it was a certain group. Some people are not. I don't even know if it was the same spot, to tell you the truth. But then again, one never knows, does one? What do you guys think? The gun.